think that's unfair.
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
And on you, Lord Capon.
And this is my son, Henry.
I didn't know you had a son, Sir Redzig.
It came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
How did everyone
This
know?
gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
Come join us. Margrave Jobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace?
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
Dirty boys.
Question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny,
Me.
and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Opportunist much, right?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur. That King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be
hunts.
king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed, but to surrender it means giving up great privileges too.
But he did surrender
And
power
power.
to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to
Margrave
Sigismund
sounds like a
for
fantasy
help in
title.
restoring
Yeah, right?
order.
Or like a first
After
name.
saying Wenceslas invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him. Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so would I must
Well,
admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation. But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobst, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
It's
he
so stupid that so many
abducted
people had to
Daniel
die
and
because of
Prokop
this.
too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, your graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here.
You really shouldn't trust him.
Is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make
Right.
peace with idleness.
People Like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Bergholf, Heinrich von
The
Rosenberg.
situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So now Berghoff is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now.
But this is
Affairs
epilogue?
may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses. I have negotiated an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund.
Or is that
Every
teasing the
day
second
he is
game?
losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
What kind of help, though?
They're setting up the next game. It really
Sigismund
feels
has
like
a
that.
massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghoff, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund in Hungary, partly due to my efforts. And now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghoff know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
I wonder what his long-term game is.
Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, Your Grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your
Bring
arms
in, free
folded
him.
until the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war.
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Berghoff at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
Is that the second game?
True. Though a little risky.
They now say Henry
Berghoff
accompanies
would
them.
harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
It is the
Why
second
not?
game, isn't it?
He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Gutenberg to be my eyes and ears there. I believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft a letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back.
Where's my sword? I want my sword! We don't get our sword, that is so freaking sad. Ah!
expect it would be best to write it in your
The last minutes have been hilarious, thank you. You're welcome.
What exactly am I to write?
Oh, what is really the issue?
I feel like you were able to make the most fun of me of any of the games I played so far, Luna, in KCD1.
They'll make trouble or join our side. But
Yeah, but what do we do now? Talk to your father. Okay.
I've heard too much about him already. Likewise. But I do feel he's the one with the best chance to put things right.
Well, we'll see.
I also kind of want to talk to Hans. Hans,
and
where are you?
what they want to do about freeing King Wenceslas.
Where is he? Hans is gone.
And what they plan to do about the god
Maybe we should start KCD after this game. Oh, you want that right away?
So, it looks like you're off on a mission.
Yes, I can't wait.
I don't want to dampen your spirits, my boy, but watch out. These are evil times, and who knows what can happen along the way. Not to mention that Berghoff is no saint.
Don't worry.
I know. You've shown you can fend for yourself, but do take care. You'll be traveling as Lord Capon's bodyguard. You'll be there to make sure nothing untoward happens to him. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears wide open. What Berghoff tells you is one thing, but what you see may be quite another.
It does sound like a very interesting prompt for the next game.
And don't get embroiled in anything else. Just hand over the letter, hear out his reply, and return.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. Bergov is at Trossel.
Or do we
Castle.
still do this?
I think you'll find it quite an eye-opener. It's one of the finest castles in the land. It's 3 days' ride from here, so unless you hit a snag along the way, you'll be back soon enough. Any questions?
I wonder how much we can still play. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Oh gosh, and so many names. What is the League of Lords? Just like random nobles, which are like hanging out?
The League of Lords and that Berghoff we're off to see. Who are they exactly?
The lords of the powerful houses. Heinrich of Rosenberg, Otto of Berghoff, Heinrich of Radetz, and others. They're unhappy with the way
Rosenberg we
their
had
influence
before.
declined after Wenceslas surrounded himself with the lesser orders of nobility. They abducted the king years ago and made him bow to their will. They got away with it that time, and now they've joined forces with Sigismund and done it again.
It really sounds like Crusader Kings stuff.
Starting to rub them up the wrong way, so they may well be thinking twice. We'll see what Berghoff has to say.
A huge faction which wants to install someone else as the leader.
I'm getting a bit lost in the Luxembourg lineage. It all seems a bit too tangled.
It's way too many names.
Luxembourgs have ruled the Empire and Bohemia for almost 100 years now. Emperor Charles brought this land to prominence. When he was in power, things had never been so good. Wenceslas and Sigismund are his sons, but by different mothers. Jobst and Prokop are their cousins. They were entrusted with governing Moravia, but instead, they've been in a bitter armed feud for years, and now Sigismund's fallen out with Wenceslas. Wenceslas also had another brother, the youngest, John of Skalitz, who was most probably poisoned. They seem like a hot-blooded lot. It's hard to keep up with their affairs, since they tend to change their alliances from one day to the next.
It's just so many names. Moravia. Okay, let me look that up. I mean, that's not a country. Is that a country? I'm trying to be very careful to say something too stupid. Moravia is a historical region in the Eastern Czech Republic, roughly encompassing its territory with the Danube River's drainage basin. Huh. So I would say size-wise, it's like a good third of like the current territory of the Czech Republic. Alrighty. I'm not asking about those names. I'm gonna forget everything before we play the next game.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter from Sir Hanush, and good luck, son.
But I want my sword. Where's my sword? Take the letter.
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir.
And just raid everything to the ground.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them,
He
they make
forces.
up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Kuttenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
You know, everything
My
makes
lords.
sense.
How's the letter coming along?
It's done.
But so far it was really
Then we can be
confusing
on
how
our
it
way.
ties to the
Now remember
royal
what we
plot.
said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come,
What could
Henry,
go wrong?
my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
Congratulations, you've completed the main storyline. If you like, you can still embark on side quests and activities or just wander over the world. You can end the game anytime afterwards by riding off the map with Sir Hans Cape and Squad. And I would say, let's just do that. But how do we do that?
Come now, Hal. My men are mustered in the courtyard. We can get going.
Well, I mean, no side quests open. But I mean, that is still open, right? Vengeance is still open. Find Marquardt von Arlitz and avenge your parents. But I have absolutely no idea where. But it feels like we have to. I mean, it says like before that they send Sir Hans Capen to deliver the letter and I join Sir Hans' entourage. That's tied to that, right? But I also guess we do not get back our sword. It's very sad.
Ha! Oh,
But yeah, oh boy, what a ride. I also didn't expect it to end today. Let's see how much we're still going to see. This is part 2 of the game, in another 70 hours. I kinda doubt that, Luna. But who knows? I mean, it just says epilogue, right? So, it was a nice thought, it really was. And the last thing to remind us of our dad, right? Let's go.
Of course. I can't wait.
so, to horse! The Lord of Berghoff is bound to be waiting as eagerly.
Go Pebbles. Yeah. Do I get a horse? Is this my horse? It's Pebbles.
Yeah.
Alright. What? Let's together ride into the sunset. Into the second game. Okay, we're really slow. Pebbles is extremely slow. I'm surprised and proud that he managed to keep it this whole time. I gotta say, the thing which is the most annoying to me is like that I can't... Oh, it works now.
What about Rudzing? Has
Somewhat.
he accounted for not owning up to you the whole time?
He explained it. All will be well, I think.
Glad to hear it.
So I guess we are
It's far
noble
more
now.
acceptable for a nobleman to befriend a noble bastard than a blacksmith's son.
Mind you,
Wow.
don't come to blows with a blacksmith, my young lord.
I think the only part where it really annoyed me to have Pebbles Luna is when I followed people and was like way slower or way faster than them.
Has me a little lost. I thought Sigismund was the devil, Wenceslas a martyr, those on his side the heroes, and those against him the villains. I believe
Right now it
rescuing the
works.
king and all would be well
For
again,
whatever
but
reason.
now it looks a lot more complicated.
Exactly. I didn't expect the noble lords to be as noble as the angels, but I hadn't expected such a sewer. They behave like children.
I can't fathom how after all this backstabbing...
I wonder how
some
political the
still
second game is going to be. It sounds like it's way more on that level, right?
Beggars belief.
By the way, did
Did
you
you
notice
know
that the
that King
stream
Wenceslas
didn't
was
crash
such
today?
Such a...
Feckless drunkard. Not really. And to be honest,
I had a super fast horse with full armor. I do feel bad about leaving Pebbles behind though. Aww. Yeah, look at me. I took care of Pebbles.
What a dismal world when you can't keep trust in your own king.
On the other hand, times were better with him here than with him gone.
Isn't that the truth?
No, it's just slow.
What do you think of
You
Sigismund?
didn't play the second game so far, Luna, right?
I'd have had enough of my brother even sooner.
But he's a monster. Look at what those hordes of his are getting up to here. What he did in Skalitz.
True enough. On the other hand, if Wenceslas and Prokop hadn't double-crossed him, none of this would have happened.
No one forced him to
I
burn
didn't.
Skalitz.
That's a fact. But he couldn't let them shit all over him either. Not that I'm defending him.
He's a weasel.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, nobles. Right, Hans? But you probably do plan to play the second game, Luna, right?
Sir Hanush could tell you a thing or two about him.
Why?
Last winter, a certain Sir Jan Sokol of Lamberg, a well-known knight, or robber baron to some, tried to occupy the city of Iglau, which was
Gosh,
in
there's
the
so many
order
names
of
again.
none other than Prokop.
And what has that got to do with Hanush?
Yeah.
Well, he was there with him. Of course, that's not something to brag about in front of Jobst.
And what was it all about?
They wanted to occupy a city that was on the side of the League of Lords, but despite there being several hundred strong, they didn't take it. For one thing, they couldn't get past the Iglau women with their
This feels so unfinished, the game.
hot water.
I gotta say, it also feels a little lengthy to tease the next game like this. But I feel like this is...
And have you heard anything about
It wasn't enjoyable. I will just talk over
A
this.
little. We can't
Um,
manage even to wrest
I mean
power
the
from anyone
story.
who doesn't
Yeah, it
like
kind of
us
feels like
or
we're just about to
who
start,
fights
right?
back.
But I think also this
Seeing
teasing
right
is
now
like a
that's
little bit
what it takes
slow.
to rule.
But on the other hand, I also feel like I'm used to faster paced stories. I had that a couple of times by playing this game. But overall, I gotta say it was really fun.
Do you know anything about
It was a rough
I
start,
haven't heard much good about him.
especially in the
But
beginning,
I
especially with some
understand
frustrating
that
fights.
quite in awe of him.
I
And
still
his castle is
think
apparently quite
like
impressive.
fighting multiple enemies
See
is
for myself.
difficult at the very end. But also very fun to learn stuff and learn how to do it and how to
And what
find
about
strategies,
the
how
Lords?
to get like timing
Well,
right, movements right.
Compass, the king doesn't seem to
Alchemy
like
is really
him.
fun, even though I
He's
didn't
chosen
even do
to
it
let
that
the lesser
much.
ranks of the nobility into his circle. Men like
Yeah.
your father. I admit, I don't
And
blame him
archery
one
was
bit.
also better than I
The
expected in
lords
the
weren't happy
beginning.
about their lost influence, so they put their foot down. If I were Wenceslas, I'd have let them hang after they abducted me the first time. But he gave them seats at the provincial council. Little wonder they're back at their old tricks.
Well, appeasement. KCD2 is very close to being the next on my list, if not actually the next. Ooh, nice. What are other candidates for your play next games, Luna? I wonder how the pacing in the second game is going to be. It definitely feels at least like the second game is going to play on a somewhat grander scale of things. Just due to like politics stuff. But yeah. Now we're back at Neuhof. Didn't we start with like more knights? Where are they? It's just us two. I mean, not that I complain. It kind of feels like this is it, right? I don't think there's going to be more dialogue. Bleh. I saw only parts of it on YouTube. Okay. How different does the game look like without like spoiling anything, obviously? Like story spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think now we can just ride to the horizon. I found a Blade 2 on there, another playthrough of Voice of the Void, Yakuza series. What is Voices of the Void? Sounds like intriguing, just like title-wise. What happens once we...
Can't leave now.
Yeah.
Still have obligations here.
Okay, so... What? Okay. Yeah, I guess we have to wait for Hans here. Hans, where are you? I can't leave alone. Yes. We have to wait for Hans. Yeah. I wonder why he's so slow. And nothing bad happens, nothing at all. I'm also surprised. I mean, remember how many bandits try to rob us, to kill us? Nothing happens here. I mean, this is an obstacle. There's a camp. There could be something happening here. But no, this camp is also empty. There's soup. You know what? One last time. Talk to Capen. There we go. Ah, we don't even leave the map? Is that our camp? Did I just steal our own soup? Oh well. That's not even stealing, that's boring. Hans, talk to me.
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite.
If only you knew. There's going to be an outing once we play the second game.
Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty.
And now we have our companions with us again.
Find that horseman who murdered
Tastes
my
awful when it's not stolen. Yeah,
Get the
right?
sword back from him and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming.
I also like that we're just like leaving Theresa. Like, meh.
Audentes fortuna juvat.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that we were going to finish this game tonight. The end. Yeah, how did you like it? It was definitely something different. I think I've never played a non-fantasy medieval game. And yeah, as I said earlier, many things I enjoyed. Chill music. Many things I enjoyed, even though, especially at the beginning, it was a little bit of a struggle, which you might have seen. But yeah, it was cool. Something very different. And without streaming, I definitely wouldn't have continued playing this game on my own. I gotta be very honest. But it was cool. I'm glad I did. Also, thanks so much again, Luna, for recommending this. And not thank you for pestering me about going to the bathhouse. But yeah. That's it.